welcome Star Wars fans all across the galaxy. This is Uneducated Star Wars Talk, brought to you by the Uneducated Network. I'm your host, Chris Lambert, and thanks for making me a part of your day. Now, what's up, my fan? Sorry I've been gone for a little while. Like I told y'all in my last episode, I had a bad toothache. I'm over that now. I'm back. Things look like they're gonna get back to a regularly scheduled programming, and I'm glad to be back. And today I got something I've been waiting forever to talk to y'all about. And if you check my live streams, if you are subscribed to the channel, you'll see my live streams of Battlefront 2. Today is the breakdown and the review of it, and let y'all know how I actually feel. And I can't wait to get in this because I got a lot to say about the game. But before I get into that, quick reminder. Press that subscribe button if you already haven't. Press the like button too for this video as well, because it helps out, and we really like that. But make sure you press that subscribe button. We really appreciate it. Let's our channel grow. Let other people find the channel a lot easier if they're looking for the same type of content you are. And we really just appreciate it. Shows how much our hard work is paying off when y'all actually pressing that subscribe button and that like. And don't forget to share too with your friends and family and just the internet. And yeah, don't forget to share with the internet. And that's it with that. On to the Star Wars news, more specifically the Battlefront news. This is gonna be the Battlefront review. My thoughts exactly on the game. And tell you the truth, to start it, I love the game. I know it's gotten a lot of backlash behind a lot of different things, and I'll get to that in a second, but I love the game personally. They hit on everything they really said they would give to us in Battlefront 2. It improved on the first game. We got all the new maps, got the new modes, new eras. We got all that. I know what the big backlash about is the that word microtransactions, and to me, the microtransactions, that argument about the game has been not dead. It has some credence, but it's nowhere nearly as bad as people making it seem. It's not like you pay for the crystals and then you automatically get weapons and stuff in the loot boxes. That's never been how it worked. You get star cards with the loot boxes, and for one, I'm glad that weapons aren't in the loot boxes because that would really make it pay to win. Because the weapons and stuff, they actually affect you. Well, I'm not gonna say star cards don't affect gameplay because they affect gameplay, but weapons more so because certain weapons are better than other weapons, and it's some of the ones that you have to unlock via kill counts and stuff like that. And I'm glad they put it that way instead of having the weapons also coming in the loot boxes. But the big deal why it's getting so much backlash is because of the system, like I was saying, to where you could pay for crystals and in turn buy the loot boxes in the game from the crystals. And the loot boxes, they'll give you random items based on, I think it was based on which class you play with the most and how much your overall ranking. And that ties completely into what will be randomized in your loot box. You'll get 4 to 5 things. I'm not sure. I think it was 4. I think it's 4 things you'll get, but they're always random. It's not like you know what you're paying for. So that's what really kind of kills that microtransactions thing to me. And what also frustrates the heck out of me about people complaining about microtransactions, we didn't have to pay for DLC. They told us from the beginning the DLC will be free. How else is DICE supposed to make money to provide for this game, to give us new stuff, to make that DLC free? They need to make the money some type of way. And if that comes from people buying loot boxes, buying crystals to buy loot boxes, you don't have to if you don't like to, if you don't want to. Let the people who don't feel like they have enough time within their day to go and get the 150 kills or whatever the amount may be for to unlock a certain weapon. And it's not even a weapon. I can't even say that. It's the star cards, and I'm still in the grind to get star. I'm in the grind to get rank up my each class because the classes are tied to the star cards, and I don't feel like if you paying for the crystals and getting random items in your loot box, I don't feel like that's pay to win. So to me, Battlefront has never been pay to win because a guy with me, I haven't paid for anything except the $80 version of the game. I got a couple. I think it's one epic star card for each class. I got that. And say somebody spent $40 for however many crystals and to get so many boxes or whatever. I don't think I still could outgun. I still would outgun them in a gunfight because I'm probably a better player overall, and that I don't really truly need my star cards to give me boosts. Star cards, they give you boosts. They're like your equipment and stuff. So I don't think it's pay to win. Maybe it's pay for an advantage, but not pay to win. And I guess that's kind of the same thing. But by no means do I think Battlefront 2 is pay to win. Like I said, it's not weapons, it's not weapons attachments, it's not stuff like that. And so I think that big backlash. The game had a huge backlash. They released the numbers. They said the game actually sold 60% less than the first Battlefront did, and that's very disappointing. Very disappointing because besides that backlash, people have nothing else to say about the game. The game is great. They delivered on everything about that. I don't truly like the progression system. I don't like that star cards are tied into me ranking up as say my officer and my assault class is what I use the most. I don't really like that because those two classes are what I use the most. And the specialist class, which I barely ever use, I'm a rank 20 in that. I'm a 23 with the officer and a 21 with the assault class. So I don't really like that. Say I don't even play with the specialist class, but because the loot boxes are randomized, I've gotten a lot of specialist stuff, a lot of specialist star cards, and I like that's another reason why I don't feel like it's pay to win because it can be randomized. The loot boxes are randomized, and you'll get something that maybe you don't even use half the time. Like I got a lot of specialist stuff, and I don't even use that class 'cause I'm not a great sniper online. But the overall gameplay is great. They improved on it from the first one. Like I said, and that's a big step. That's what you really want is in your sequel is to be better than the first. And I think they did that on a lot of the gameplay levels. I'm no gaming guru. We'll have to talk to Shelly about that, but I actually think it's a lot better with the mechanics than the first one. And I never really had a problem with the first one. This one is just a more improved version. The gameplay online is a lot more fast paced, and I like that too because it's more reminiscent of Battlefield. Not Battlefield 1, I haven't played that, but I've played every other Battlefield game, and I really like the not super fast paced like Call of Duty, but it's more fast paced than 2015's Battlefront. And like I say, that was a big improvement. But the two highlighted modes, not highlights, but most improved modes, heroes versus villains and Starfighter Assault. Those are so fun. I actually have spent a lot of time playing those modes because they are just big improvements over the last game. And I love the objective mode, the objectives in the Starfighter Assault with the capital ships and everything. It's just great. I don't get what's the big hoopla about the game besides the microtransactions. And I've kind of already spoken on the microtransactions, but let's say it once again, I don't feel like the paying for random star cards or they haven't really brought the cosmetics into the game. That's another thing I'm kind of disappointed in. I wanted to be able to customize my troops a little bit more, but I don't feel like paying for random star cards is truly pay to win because you can pay for those star cards, but you don't really know how to use them. Like you're just gonna have them and get gunned down. I've seen people that I don't know that they'll pay to win, but I've killed people that no people have killed me because that's when their star cards and stuff will pop up. But they're level like 30 or 40 with the blue marker. I'm like, oh, they definitely paid to win. But tell you the truth, you don't really even know. Cause I've spent my credits in the game like different ways. Like I've unlocked Chewie, I've unlocked Leia. I think that's the Insidious. I've spent credits there, but when I probably could have been just buying all the loot crates. But I play a lot of heroes versus villains, so I wanted the better heroes, and I don't have a problem with that. That's another thing. Kind of got backlash for being that Vader's locked to 15,000 credits. You need Luke is 15,000 as well. Chewie, Leia, and Sidious were all 10,000. So I was able to get those kind of quick. But people have a problem with that. They not able to play with their favorite heroes right off the dump, and I don't have a problem with it because the joy of the game is to me being that regular soldier. If you have to play with Luke right now, jump in that arcade mode. And the offline, which I'll get to the campaign in a moment because that's a story on its own. The offline modes, they really could have did better. I liked it, the skirmish thing they did last with the last game, giving all the online modes, letting you play them offline against AI. I really liked it that. And the arcade mode, it's disappointing, but it has its advantages. Like you're able to you're able to truly practice. Like I was the other day, I was in the arcade mode messing around, and I decided to play with Aiden for a while and take on a thousand rebels or a thousand. I think it was 1,000 rebels. Yeah, but that's besides the point. And take on 1,000 rebels, and that's just fun getting to practice with the heroes and do all that. You can play with the heroes with online. It's okay that they're locked and you have to get to certain achievements to play with them, and I don't really feel like people need to do. Maybe the credit price was a bit steep at first before the game got released for everybody. I think they said it was around 60,000 for beta, and yeah, that would have been that's kind of that's pretty steep. But the 10,000 and 15,000, I feel like those are okay numbers. It don't take that long to get them, and plus, that's what Dice wants you to do. They want you to play their game. That's why they made the game. They didn't make the game for us to play it a week, put it down, and be done with it. They want us to continue to play the game. They want the game to have a long life, and that goes into another thing. Why did they have microtransactions? To me, that's because the DLC is free. Like all this backlash about the microtransactions, they made I hear that Disney got involved and made them take it away and stuff like that. And I'm just like, how are they gonna pay for our content after the release, like after launch? Like how are we gonna do our how are they gonna pay for their post launch stuff? Because you don't want to just Disney be pumping all the money into it, then the game isn't actually going to make any money, and it's not going to make the company any money. So you have to make money some type of way. The EA is a business. Everybody wants to blame EA for all that. EA is a business, and they're a fine, damn good business. As consumers, we might not like it, but as their business model, they're thriving. Yes, we have to come out of pocket sometimes, but we're gonna have to have it one way or another. Would you rather pay for your DLC, or would you rather have microtransactions that gives you a choice and doesn't split the community up? Because I love playing with everybody. Not that I'm out playing party chatting and stuff like that, but is in the first Battlefront, you could tell when you was loading in a new DLC how long it would take to get in a party, and I mean not a party, but how long it would take to get in the game and stuff. And we don't want that in this Battlefront. So let them give us the DLC free. Let the people who want to pay for the microtransactions, let them people who want to pay for the random loot boxes, let them pay for it. If you don't want to pay for it, you don't have to. You got the game. Enjoy the game, or just get good. Get good is the basic way to beat people that pays to win because they don't have time, and I completely understand that because there's not enough time in the hour, there's not enough time in the day to do everything that I like to do. I wanted to play Battlefront a lot more yesterday, but had to go to work. So get good. That's all I gotta say. Practice a little bit in the arcade mode, and you can beat these people that's paying to win. Air quotes if you didn't see, but let's get to the campaign. And sorry about that rant, if you will, but let's get to the campaign. The campaign was freaking dope, freaking awesome, and it might be one of the best multiplayer shooter campaigns that I've played. I know Modern Warfare, Call of Duty for Modern Warfare was up there. The first Black Ops, that was fun. That's the only ones I find memorable. Halo was real fun, but I'm digressing on other games. But the campaign was real dope, and they did a great job with it. I'm trying to remember. I didn't actually bring any notes with me. I'm fresh off work, fresh off vacation. Had a toothache all on my vacation, but I'm not gonna get into all that. But Jesus Christ, how did that vacation go? But yes, the story was great. Got to fight, followed I was about to call her Iden. Yeah, Iden. We got to follow Iden in the Inferno Squad. Ultimately, she turns to the rebellion. I wasn't too thrilled with that. I actually thought the execution of her turn to the rebellion, what it was, they went to Vardos, to her home planet, to rescue. I think it was a teacher in the Imperial Leaders Academy. I think that's what it was. Don't quote me on that. But they went rescue her, and there were other civilians. Aiden and Dell, they wanted to extract the civilians as well. But Hask, he like, nah, this is not our mission, and he was more imperial with it. And like that moment to me, it didn't feel like they that should have been the turning point for Aiden and Dell, because I feel like they probably have been through the same types of situations, being at their Inferno Squad, and have done this type of stuff before. But uh, actually, the in the book, Inferno Squad, Battlefront 2, Inferno Squad, they when they was part of the Dreamers, or part of the Rebel Cell, the Dreamers, and they was gonna bomb the place with the 400 Imperial students. Aiden was down for that, not to not blow her cover. Like, she was down for that, but like, she had a problem with Hask leaving the civilians, and to me, like, that was the only problem with the story was her turn to the rebellion. Just didn't feel right to me. It felt like it should have took a little bit more, and I feel like not saving civilians was probably not a big enough reason for Aiden, the commander of Inferno Squad, the elite stormtrooper unit, to turn to the rebellion, because a partner didn't basically want to save hostages, not hostages, but some civilians. And you know, I mean, we kind of can tell that it was going that way. A lot of things in the trailer, seems like I was wrong about when she popped up on the screen in front of the rebels. That was her actually surrendering. Leia, Jesus Christ, Leia on Naboo, that was one of the most memorable moments throughout the campaign. It was hard as hell to do, and it was, man, I was just putting myself in Leia's shoes. At that time, she was getting overrun by stormtroopers on Naboo. That was another great thing, that she was on Naboo, and we've seen her there in the comics, and I think she was there. Oh, she was there in Princess of Alderaan, in her latest book. But that was a great moment. The campaign was pretty dope. But on to the biggest story coming out of the campaign. Ray. Seems like we might have found Ray's parents throughout this campaign, and it seems like it could be Aiden and Del Miko from Inferno Squad. After they defect and go to the rebels, they end up on the Battle of Jakku, and then years go by. Kylo Ren finds Del, and Del gives up Lauren Santeca, but Kylo also mentions that they have a daughter, and there's a mystery behind it and all that. So that's leading everybody to theorize we have Ray's parents in Iden Versio and Del Miko. I'm perfectly fine with that. A lot of people, like my girlfriend, I was actually talking to her. She doesn't think it was a good idea to reveal Ray's parents in Battlefront 2, because it's just a video game. It's her point. It's like, this is just a video game. Like, who's gonna pay attention to that? That is why you do it. That is why you do something like that in a video game, to bring people to buy the game. And that was basically what I told her. It's a great business move. We all been wondering about who's Ray's parents, and for the longest, Lucasfilm has been telling us, hey, it's nobody special, nobody special. You'll find out. You'll find out. If it turns out to be Iden Versio and Del Miko, I am completely fine with that. This story is a canon story, so it should have relevance in the Star Wars universe. And them making Iden and Del Ray's parents, that makes it makes sense, because they was on Jakku, and that was another reason why I feel like maybe she's not their kid, because it is just a video game, but you don't want to have people depending. You don't want to have your crowd depending on the video, going buy a video game to keep up with the story. But it is a great little shout out to us who plays the games, that we get little, not little, because this is a big story thing. with raised parents. And if it is, like I said, I'm perfectly fine with that. Give the game a lot more relevance. Might even bring people to even buy the game a little bit more. Never mind and they might say never mind the backlash that the game is getting. I don't need the microtransactions anyway. I just want the story, and it might bring people to buy the game with that. So it's great that the actual story of the game is getting reviews. I think the whole game as a whole, it got like a 7.4. No, maybe not even a 7.9. I think it was like a 6.4. From one of the sites, one of the big sites, and that was real disappointing. This is a game I've been waiting for. I'm having fun with it, and I'm telling you now, don't let I'm not gonna say any company's names. I don't want to get in trouble with nobody, but don't let big company names that do reviews and stuff like put scores on games. Don't let that get you down on games, because Battlefront 2 is one of the best games I've played in a long time, and I'm a Star Wars fan. But I can tell you when I'm having fun and not. But like I said, there's only a couple negatives with it, and that's really the progression system. My one gripe with the campaign with adding switches, and like if you want to be mad at the microtransactions, be mad at it, but you don't have to do it. It's not like a thing that you have to do, or you're gonna miss out on stuff. So I don't really have a problem with that, and that's just me. Let me know in the comments how you feel. No, I went on a little bit of a rant about the microtransactions thing, but it really bugged me how us as Star Wars fans and gamers, because I'm sure it wasn't just Star Wars fans mad about the microtransactions, or just gamers. I'm sure it was a little combination of both. But it upsets me as part of the human race, seeing how people act, because they was a little upset about stuff that you truly don't have to partake in. But that was real disappointing. I just want to say we have to do better as a human race. Treat people more with respect, and people work hard on these games, and people slave on these games to bring us what they bring. And I really enjoy it. I hate that everybody didn't enjoy it, but if you want to check out some more gameplay, you can keep it locked right here at the Uneducated Network. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Like us on Facebook. You can catch me on Facebook, Chris Lambert. Twitter, BubbaKush92, also Instagram, and be on the lookout because things are gonna get back rolling here right now. Till next time, bye bye.